Journaling honestly has helped me make the biggest decision of my life, and I don't know if I would be here if it weren't for journaling. So I've been journaling for a couple of years now. I think I started back in 2010. I opened up my laptop and I started just typing away whatever came to mind. And at that point, I didn't realize what I was doing. I guess back then it was maybe called a diary. Journaling has gotten a lot of attention from the media, I think, in the recent years, especially during our COVID era when everyone just had so much time for themselves and everyone just had alone time and they had time to reflect. I think the wellness industry also boomed at that point. A lot of people were just taking priority on taking care of themselves. And I love that because in 2018, I started my health and wellness journey and just want to share a little bit of how it has helped me live life. And like I mentioned in the beginning, it has completely changed my life. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Gabby and I make health and wellness related videos. I like to say I like to live life with intention. So that's my big motto in life. And I'm on a journey to find a healthier path. I've been on this journey since 2018 and I'm just sharing a little bit more about how I found it and what I'm currently doing. Obviously, I'm not perfect, but I'm here to share some tips that have worked out for me. So don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and hope you guys enjoy the video. So one of the ways that journaling has truly, honestly helped me in my life is by helping me organize my thoughts and whatever is happening up there. We're humans and we all have a lot going on, and adulting is honestly one of its own. So yeah, we have so many thoughts throughout the day, some crazy amount of number, and something that journaling helped me with was just organizing all of those thoughts. And I remember at one point I was really stuck on this one decision that I think was going to literally determine where I was going to go in life and how I was going to live. It was a big decision, and it was whether to stay in the relationship that I was in or whether I had to take a step back and move away from it. It was a long term relationship, but without getting into the details, I realized that by writing down what was happening in my relationship and how I was feeling in the journal, I came to a realization that that relationship no longer served me. First of all, I'm not here to blame the other person or to just say that like it was all their fault. But it was a very complicated relationship, and journaling, I remember a few months of those difficult times when I was going through it. I did write down a lot of things that were happening within the relationship, within me, how I was feeling. And it took a couple of months for me to actually realize that that relationship no longer served me. It ran its course. That relationship was a loving one. It was great. But at that time where we were having those difficult times, it just was no longer working out. And I don't think I would have realized that without journaling. Journaling helped me gather all my thoughts. It helped me put down those feelings versus more rational thoughts into paper, and it helped me see why I was feeling the way I was feeling, or help me see like what was really happening up there. Because when you have feelings involved, I feel like the decision is very hard for one to make. So I started writing a lot of things down. When emotions get into the mix, I think it's hard to make a rational decision. And especially like with a breakup, I don't know, like it's hard to, but there is no right or wrong, but I think there is a better decision than the other. And a lot of times when we are in a relationship with someone that we love, there's emotions involved, and our thoughts and our actions and our decisions can be influenced by emotions. Sometimes like you can look back after you've been out of that relationship and almost say like, why did I do that? Or like, what was I thinking of, like staying with this person or doing this for them, blah, 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 whatever it is. I just think that like writing down everything that I was feeling, that I was going through, what was happening in the moment helped me make a decision that now I'm like really, really happy about. It was a more logical and rational decision rather than emotion influenced. I had to put my feelings aside and just take the relationship for what it was, and it helped me view it from almost like a third party perspective. And yeah, it was honestly one of the best things that I could have ever done for myself. So that's a little bit of the details without getting into the details. But so that's my first tip. If you're having trouble with making a big decision in your life or organizing your thoughts, or even just, it doesn't even have to be a big decision. If you're having a hard time with something in your life, it is such a great way to journal and put things down on paper. I know it may seem a little bit hard for someone who hasn't started journaling or like doesn't even know where to begin, but just literally write down whatever comes to mind, whatever thoughts come to your mind, whatever is worrying you, and just put it down on paper and look back at it, and you'll see what is happening up there, a different perspective maybe also, but it'll definitely help you in organizing all your madness, all those crazy ideas and thoughts that are happening in our brain. Another way that journaling has made a huge impact in my life and how it has helped me is by helping me get to know myself. So yes, it has helped me get to know myself. I think during my 20s, I had a really hard time figuring out who I was as a person, as a human being, who I was in this world. What is Gabby supposed to be doing? And what am I bringing to this world? Am I supposed to just be working a 9 to 5 and commuting to work every day and just coming back to work and living life monotonously? And that was a big no for me. And I think that's what I've just been trying to work on for a very long time. Something that really came with journaling was doing a lot of reflection work. And a lot of the things that I was writing down were things that I was going through. And a lot of it throughout my 20s was trying to figure who I was in this world. And journaling obviously was not the only thing that helped me find myself and find who I was, but it did help me grow as a person, I think. And in many ways, it helped me see who I was becoming, how I was growing, who I was meant to be in this world. And it also, in a way, helped me find my values. And I think that's a big part of growing up and finding yourself. For me, this finding yourself was very important because I just didn't feel who I was in my 20s was me. I felt like that was someone else. And this was because of all the beliefs that I grew up with and all of the noise around me that I had in my life. And it didn't happen until maybe when I started practicing my yoga and I did my teacher training that I realized that who I was in my younger years was not really me. And I think you can really tell by going back to my videos. If you go back and look at all my videos, I just didn't know who I was. And I was someone who was just trying to please people. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to just like be bubbly. And honestly, that's just really not me, okay? Like now I'm owning who I am at this point in my life. I am an introverted, extroverted person. I don't know. I'm just owning and very happy with who I've become. And going back to the journaling part, I think this is something that it did help me with because I did start to question who I was. And I wouldn't have figured that out if all of it would have been here. So throughout the years, I started just writing down a lot of these thoughts that came to mind. Who am I in this world? What am I supposed to be doing? What is my purpose? Do I even like makeup? That was one of the biggest things that came up throughout my years. And I think I just transitioned out of this phase of my life. But yeah, I don't think I would have honestly changed and grown without journaling. And I'm very, very happy that I came about it. Something that I had to relearn when I was getting to know myself. And while I was journaling was figuring out what my values were and what my beliefs were as a person. And this is what I would write down in my journal. So it wasn't until my yoga practice that I actually did write down my values. And I don't think I ever thought about my values before that because no one has asked me. And there was no point on even writing down my values. Like no one, it didn't even come to mind basically. So I did start to question what my values are. What do I believe as a person? Like, or were those thoughts mine? Were those beliefs mine? Or were they beliefs that I grew up with and they were influenced by my mom, my parents, my family? And yeah, that helped me shape on who I am today. And I'm just truly happy that I think I found this path of me and just being me and just loving me and finding my own thoughts and patterns and values and figuring out who I am supposed to be in this earth. And yeah, that's something that you can work on too while journaling. Power of journaling. Honestly, journaling, like I mentioned in the previous two tips, has been very impactful in my life. I love it. It's such a great practice to get into if you want. But also, my third tip is it's an alternative to therapy. If you don't have access to therapy, which I know in the States can be very, very expensive. At one point, when I was going through one of my breakups, I was very devastated. And honestly, I just really wanted to talk to someone who was not biased and who didn't know this person that I was going through this hardship with. And I tried to reach out to someone, and honestly, therapy was very, very expensive, even with insurance. I think it was around the $200 mark with insurance in the New York City area. And that honestly really broke me. I don't know if, I honestly don't know what would have happened if I was able to go to therapy at that point. But the one thing that I relied on when I couldn't go to therapy was my journal. And my journaling practice saved me when I was going through that big transition in my life, when I was going through that hard time. I journaled every day. It helped me release those thoughts and emotions down on paper, everything that was just bottled up within me that I couldn't go to therapy for. I started to just write down, and it honestly helped me so much. So if you are struggling with, mental health issues, I'm obviously not a doctor here, so big disclaimer here. But if you don't have access to therapy and it's something that you've been looking into and you just can't access, journaling can help you in many, many ways. It may not be the same help that you get from therapy and a therapist, obviously, but I think it's a great access and a great tool to get started if you are struggling with something in your life. Okay, so now that we got all of the benefits of journaling out the way, I want to share some tips on how to get started. I do get this question often, especially when I'm just sharing journaling. I know there's probably many tips out there anyways. I want to share some tips on how you can get started, especially if you are a beginner and you don't know where to start and how to journal. And yeah, it can probably be very intimidating if you don't know where to start. So first tip, daily prompts. So I think there is a 5-minute journal that you can buy on Amazon that already has prompts in the journal. That's a great way to start if you are a beginner and you don't know where to start. If the 5-minute journal is not for you, there are many prompts out there on Google that you can probably just click on, and depending on what you're going through, you can just choose a prompt, open up your notebook, pen and pencil, and just answer the prompt, answer the question. You can find something that is relatable to you at the moment, that how you're feeling, or just a random one, and just start to answer the question. Don't even think about journaling. Don't think about anything else. Just answer the question. My second tip is, oh, that looks like 4. My second tip is start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. So as always, and I feel like all the tips that I give here are probably around the same, but it's honestly true. Just start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't think about the end goal. Just start to take baby steps in order to get to the big goal. So with journaling, start small with just a very basic prompt. If you are finding these on the internet, it can just be like an example of, how are you feeling today? Something that probably doesn't come to your mind at any point, and no one really thinks about asking ourselves these questions, right? Unless like you go to therapist. So it can be something as very simple as that, or what is on your mind today, something that you can answer. These are just very basic questions, and as you get into the habit of journaling, you will get very comfortable about just writing down and brain dumping everything into a journal. So that's my second tip. Third tip is start creating a habit with journaling. If you want to get really serious about journaling, and if you want to make it part of your daily life, and you want to really feel the impact of journaling, I would suggest to start putting it into your daily routine, into your habits. I used to journal. I don't do this often, but sometimes when I am going through a hard time, before work, if I don't meditate, I will journal. So it's either or the other. It doesn't always happen. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I don't always journal at this point because I feel good. I don't think, yeah, I haven't journaled maybe like in a month, but when I'm having a hard time, I do journal more often than I do now. But I'm very happy with myself. I should go back to journaling. But anyways, back to the point, make it a habit. So if you are having a hard time, you want to make this a practice. If this is something that you want to take seriously, maybe you just incorporate it to another habit that you are already doing. So if you practice yoga, maybe do it after yoga or while you're stretching. I used to do that as well, and it's a very, very nice, nice thing to just do two things at once. But yeah, start to make it a habit. Maybe put a timer on for 5 minutes and just bring dump everything into the journal. And just don't think too hard about it. Just anything that is going in your mind, anything, literally anything. Like, I'm having a hard time at work, or oh my God, what am I gonna wear tomorrow? Anything that is worrying you, anything that is like up here, just jot it down. Don't think about it too hard. Okay, so these are all my tips and all I have to say about journaling. I hope that if you are trying to get started, you take the first step. Just go buy a journal from the dollar store, from a Dollar Tree, wherever you need to buy a small notebook and a pen, and just get started, guys. I love journaling, and I can't say any more good things about journaling and how it has impacted my life. So yeah, I hope you get started, and I hope these tips help you out. And one last thing that I do want to mention is, don't think about it too hard. There is no right or wrong way to journal, okay? It's just put it down on paper and see how it goes. The more you do it, the better that you're going to get at journaling as well. Just like any practice and anything in life, I think. So yeah, I hope that you guys find this video helpful, and yeah, let me know what other videos you guys would like to see, or if you guys enjoy this, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys later, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.